Hello, thanks for helping me with this. We're going to talk about a very important practice in Tai Chi called inclusion. Inclusion means to extend your awareness beyond yourself, beyond your normal idea of normal boundaries of yourself. And this is very special because it's where the martial practice of Tai Chi, the push hands and such, starts to intersect with Tai Chi as a spiritual practice and as a healing art. And so what is inclusion? It means, as I said earlier, to extend your awareness. And how do we extend our awareness? It is a natural capacity that we have. Humans are very good at using tools. So when you use like a hammer, you know where the center of balance on the hammer is, you know how to swing it so you don't smash your finger most of the time. You know how to drive your car in a way that you know how much to turn your steering wheel so you make that turn and not hit anybody. It's like an extension of your body. So your mind and your awareness has perfused through this thing. So you can drive your car pretty well, use a hammer pretty okay, right?
Yes.
You can even use things that are soft. You could swing a rope around like a cowboy and things like that, and have your awareness flow through that. Now, when it comes to another living being, like between me and her, we can extend our awareness to another person as well, not just with tools. And that's where we go from beyond basic tool usage to the higher levels of this practice. And what this is made possible is by an experience that we call bliss. And so what is bliss? Bliss is the feeling of a fulfilled emotion that is nourishing to our spirit, such as compassion or gratitude or a healthy joyfulness. These are blissful experiences. We have other emotions that are negative or not blissful, such as annoyance, anger, and different type of things like that can pull us out of our optimal state. The way this matters is when you are angry or when you're annoyed, do you find it hard to focus on doing what you want to do?
Yes.
It could be, right? Yeah. It makes you focus on certain things, like punching someone in the face, perhaps, right? Mm-hmm. But it makes you unfocused about like what are the repercussions of that, or anything else like that. And so what happens is non-blissful emotions tends to limit or pull us in a certain direction that is not free. And it also makes you put your guard up. You know, when you're annoyed, you're like, don't talk to me. I hate people, right? You know that feeling, yes?
Yes, that
Yeah.
is me.
and when we are filled with blissfulness, then we're open. When you're filled with compassion, that certainly you will be very open. When you're very joyful, you may want to share that joy or pull other people to experience this together. And when you feel gratitude, there's probably someone or something you feel gratitude for. So your experience is more open. When we are filled with bliss, our spirit feels good in a way that lets it be able to open itself up or to go out. Like, you know, when you feel bad, you don't want to see anyone. You may not want to leave your room or something like that, that kind of thing, right? But when you feel good, you feel ready to try something new, do something different, and these sort of things. So a state of blissfulness is a condition or a sense of state of being that makes this easier, makes this more successful. So once you have fulfilled that condition, what you want to do is to extend your awareness into something else. And how do you do that? Mostly it's done through like meditative practices. We can do a very simple one. Just do one with me right now, okay? So as you are, and those of you who are watching can try this too, relax yourself in whatever manner you like. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale softly through your lips. Feel how relaxing a nice exhale can be. Now, we all have a sense of our personal space. It may be this far, it may be this far. Notice how big your personal space is. And you're aware of things in your personal space. Like if I, like this, you're like, you're in my personal space, get away, right? So, okay, now I'm out of your personal space, you feel good. So you're aware when something is inside your personal space, you're like, stop, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So be aware of your personal space. Let your awareness drift to the edge of your personal space. It's probably for you about here. Like here, I feel like you're not bothered. Now you're starting to be a little slightly annoyed, yeah? So you let your awareness drift to right to the edge of your personal space, and then go a little bit further, go beyond. Let your awareness go beyond the bubble of your personal space, out into the beyond. And what does that feel like when you go beyond your personal space?
Calming.
Calming, yeah. There's a calming, spacey feeling. What did you say?
It feels fine.
It feels fine, yes. It's actually a pleasant feeling to go beyond that. Because in a certain way, your personal space is like your defense bubble, and you're telling yourself as you go beyond that, it's fine. That's a very good way of putting it, and it's actually calming. You're not paranoid or anxious anyway as you let yourself have the state of being that lets you feel comfortable with going beyond. So that's one way of extending your awareness, simply sending it beyond your personal space. Now, in Tai Chi, as a martial practice or as a healing practice, we're not working with space per se, we're working with people. So if you're my partner, if you put your hands up, right, and let's say you're pushing me, and so you're pushing me, I'm pushing you, we both have our boundaries. Like, you're like, this is me and this is you, and we're going like this to each other, okay? And so what I want is to extend my awareness into her so that I feel her whole existence. And I don't mean that in an overly complicated way or overly mystical way. We all do this. It's like if our friend shows up and they look upset, you're like, oh, I wonder what's wrong with them. You know, did they have a bad morning? Did their car break down again? Or is their doggy being naughty? You know, whatever the case is, you care about them and you wonder about them, yes? So in that act, you're extending your awareness into their state of being, trying to experience and understand that. Does that make sense? And when you try to cheer them up, you give them a hug, you tell them a joke, you're seeing how they feel, how they respond. You're extending the awareness into their state of being. And what's different about that when you do that to your friend versus doing with any random person? What do you think?
I care about my friend.
You care about your friend, yeah. You care about your friend, this is a part of your world. Whereas that random stranger, like, you know, you don't really care about them as long as they don't die a horrible bloody death in front of your face or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? So you care about your friend. So in that sense, that's what you want to extend into your opponent. So give me your fist and push into me again. So you want to care about them, and you care about them in addition to yourself. So I know myself, and I now know about that. And once I know that, it's easy to move them that way. So stand firm and don't let me move you. So if I have to go over her resistance, I have to use a substantial amount of force to start to overpower her. But once I care about her and include her in my state of being, then it's easy to move her. What does that feel like?
It felt comforting.
Felt comforting. So that's a very fascinating experience, isn't it? As opposed to the struggle we had before. So you want to be able to go beyond the barrier of what you think of as yourself. You want to extend your sense of what is your world, what is your community. Like, this is my friend, everyone's my friend. I care about everything. Doesn't mean I can solve everyone's problem, but you can care about it. And when you do so, when you don't see them as, oh, they're just an enemy, they're just a jerk, I hope they get beaten down by my punch or whatever, then that's a very closed mentality. When we open up, when we fill ourselves with bliss and we want to share that bliss with them, when we integrate that into our awareness, then we'll start to sense them in a way that I can't quite put into words. And you may not be able to quite put into words as you succeed in this, but just following in that general vibe, that general attitude, you'll start to discover a sense of being that is, like she says, comfortable, that is able to include them and move them. And so when I do come again, once I'm aware of her, I still don't want to be too separate. So I'm aware of her center of balance, aware of her force. But if I think about moving her, that we're still kind of two persons. It's like trying to think of the right thing to say in a conversation, and you're just kind of awkward when you do that. But when you're just one with the person, you're just having a conversation, not taking turns talking, but having a conversation, then be resisting to me. When you have that, when you include them, then it's natural and easy to move them. How does that feel different?
I feel like all my power is taken away.
Feel like all your power is taken away. So this is an introduction to the idea of inclusion. I'll provide some other additional exercises, some meditations that will help you expand your mind in this way, because that's what we're really doing. You know, in spiritual practice, people say in a casual way, you want to open your mind, expand your mind, be one with the universe. These are all true and nice things, but this is a concrete way for you to expand your mind beyond your personal space, open your mind to another person's state of being one with the universe, one person at a time, one bit of space around you at a time, so that it's a tangible practice that you feel and integrate into your existence. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions you want to ask at the moment?
Not necessarily questions. I just think I come up with like a challenge of being able to drop that barrier.
Right.
And be able to include someone.
Yeah, so challenge of dropping that barrier, because let's say you feel threatened If you feel threatened and you know someone's going to fight you, you could feel threatened very easily, yes? And so, or if you're in a hostile environment or unknown environment, it's easy to have your guard up. And it might even be wise to have your guard up. But the more you can fill yourself with blissfulness, the more your soul feels nourished and confident, your spirit feels good in this way, the easier it is for you to naturally have that guard open. That's why it feels like when you feel really good about your life and about your people around you, right? So with our meditative practice and other things, you want to cultivate that blissfulness. Okay? So that's a very good comment. Thank you for helping. Thanks for watching.